beloved viewer. Welcome again to yet another exciting episode of the Youth Voice Show here on Hope Channel Uganda. And we are so excited to have you again with us. And tonight we're going to discuss a very interesting conversation: overwhelming financial demands. Now, recently on this show, we discussed love or the bag. What comes first? We're looking at money and love, and what should young people work for first. And today, we are discussing overwhelming financial demands, the different financial pressures. How should we go about them? Ever found yourself in a situation where you are in like 7 to 10 wedding and introduction groups, and all of them are close people, and then at church you have to contribute for this, and then you have to pay your tithe and offertory, and then you have to buy another shoe because you've been putting on that one for quite long, you have to buy another shirt or another coat or something like that, you have an upcoming date to go for, you have something else, you have a work outing, and it's quite a lot of things you have to work on. How do we balance these different financial obligations and these different overwhelming financial demands? How do we find a perfect balance? And how do we find peace amidst all this as it goes on in our lives? So to help us unpack this conversation, I am having a very interesting panel of young people. And on my immediate right here, I am having our good friend, Miss Asimwe Annabelle. She's a journalist. Glad to have you back on the show.
Thank you.
And for his very maiden appearance on this show, we're having Mr. Frank Waiswa. Yes. Frank, it's a pleasure having you with us. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Finally, on our extreme, the other side, we're having our very good friend, engineer and Deborah Cantono.
Thank you.
We are happy to have you back. It's been a while.
Yeah.
You have been busy and having so much going on. She's a very powerful lady. I look up to her in a number of respects. We are glad to have you back on the show.
Amen.
Thank you for coming. Yes. And hosting this conversation, my name is Edison Masereka. I am a teacher, a leader, and a public speaker. Brother Frank.
Actually, let me say I've completed.
Okay,
because
wonderful.
I'm awaiting bachelor. I'm waiting for graduation.
For graduation, yes. In January.
Bachelor's, yes.
You're graduating in January. What have you been
it may
studying?
be January or Feb.
Feb.
What have
Yes.
you been studying?
Bachelor of Pharmacy.
Bachelor of Pharmacy. Oh, that's a good one. That's a 4-year program. It's a very heavy one. Oh, congratulations. And
We
God
thank
for
God.
that.
We thank God.
You have also completed?
Yes, I have.
Awaiting graduation?
Oh, yeah.
You bachelor's in
Broadcasting and journalism.
broadcasting journalism.
Yeah.
Where was that?
Broadcasting and journalism.
No, which university?
Limco King University.
Limco Queen. Okay. Oh, it's a pleasure having you guys on the conversation.
Yeah.
And now that you're going through life after school, I know the transition period can be quite hectic, and I think you're the best people to discuss this.
Yeah.
Debbie, how far with school?
Yeah, with school, I'm also waiting for graduation.
Also waiting
next
for graduation.
Year. Yes.
Wonderful. So I think I am with the right people.
Yes.
People who are at that transition stage. I was there, and I know how hard it was. That point when you've been cut off from home and maybe from the scholarship, and the money is no longer coming in, but you're not yet working, and it's quite a very hard stage. And so that's what you're going to be looking at: overwhelming financial demands. And like I've already introduced, we have so many demands. I can tell you, like right now, I think I'm in around 11 WhatsApp groups for different weddings and introductions.
No
These are
way.
OBs, these are OGs, these are people from my church, my relatives. Like, you can't excuse yourself from contributing. At the same time, they know you're the relative in Kampala and you're working. You can't send like a 20K. And somehow even you like, how do I contribute 20K?
20K.
You're having something coming up at church. Maybe Gift Sabbath is upcoming. Maybe you have to go out for some youth activity at church. There is a women's dinner somewhere and you have to pay for someone to attend. How do we balance all these things? Tell me about it, you guys. How is it on your other side? The overwhelming financial demands.
The financial demands can be overwhelming. But to start with, like you mentioned, everything there. to make peace, you must first of all understand that at one point in time you will not be everywhere because you may want to contribute for all the 11 people, which is very good. But then if you also put it upon yourself to personally attend all those 11 weddings, you're going to become overwhelmed. So as we are supporting, we need to sort ourselves and also have priorities. You cannot be in a depression, a financial depression. Your money is down. You're not at the peak. Your finances are not doing well. Even sometimes you're not going to even get what to eat during the week. But then you're the same person who must be there at the dinner, who must be there at the social day, who must attend every wedding. It is not a must for you. Sometimes you need to first evaluate and know where you are standing. Then you put your priorities straight. Yes.
Frank,
Yes.
how is it there?
The overwhelming financial demands. First of all, if you look at the world generally, the economy has contracted. And trust me, each and every day things are getting tougher. Things are getting tougher, and it requires a disciplined mind to come through, to be able to overcome. Costs of things have risen. Costs of living have risen. Like everything is now high. And for you to be able to attain that skin, to be able to overcome this overwhelming financial burden that we have as a young person, it requires on you the aspect of discipline. Like my sister said, like you do not have to be able to move at the pace of the world, because the world is moving this pace, and you should also copy that. You'll be suffocated in the overwhelming financial demands. So what I can say that as long as you have the knowledge that the world has changed and things have changed, I can say that the cost of living maybe 10 years ago isn't the cost of living right now.
A person who was earning $1 million shillings 10 years ago was rich.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was quite some good amount of
The
money.
standard of living
But
is really high.
nowadays 1 million is nothing.
It's pocket change.
So it requires
Fill debts.
Yeah.
it requires understanding that, and then trying to figure out that, yes, this is what the world is and I have to be this. And being that discipline now is the issue here. Yes.
Annabelle,
Yes, please.
what are some of those overwhelming financial demands, especially from the lens of being female?
Thank you so much, Edson. That is really interesting because I totally relate. I totally relate because one of them is a church, our beloved churches. We enjoy going to church and everything, but you go to, actually, by the time the week is getting to an end, you're worrying about, you actually remember which group is going to serve. I mean, you have to contribute and then think of like, you're not going to be able to be there. So you have to contribute something. Now these groups you mentioned, you have several groups for weddings and everything, the relatives, friends and everyone, and you're not going to say, please don't put me in your groups.
Oh, yes.
You can't. I mean, you find you're invited in this group. There is a link to this group, so you eventually have to go. Now, then maybe you get money. You don't even have a stable source of income. But then when you receive some money, of course you tithe. You tithe, then you Thanksgiving and everything, and then you see you don't have money. And then you see now that's when you see your bottle of lotion is at the last. Yes, your deodorant is now. You see the person like, what is happening? Then you see your hair and you're like, what is happening? And these are real things. And then you remember the clothes you put on last week are the same ones you're putting on this week. So as he said, there is need for discipline, discipline and knowing. You know, it's quite relieving when you're self-aware. You're not going to steal. You're not going to go crazy on streets and then saying, people, I'm poor, I'm broke, I don't have money, please help. You're not going to do that. But learning how to manage the money that you get and knowing that you're not going to contribute on each and everything. This might sound mean, rude. You can call it whatever you want to call it. But it's reality. You're not going to make everybody happy. You're not going to attempt everything and you're not going to attend this one and this one. Say, now with pledges, I didn't mention the pledges. You can pledge, okay, there is an example. I pledged 100 Ugandan shillings.
100,000.
Yes, 100,000. A wedding. I failed. I failed at that. That thing broke me. I was like, why did I even pledge? Now it
And I
starts
think I've
with...
been there. I'm one person also who likes doing things last minute. Now, you know something like, you know something is in March and you pledge. Your March is far.
Like,
and then it
too
reaches
calm.
February, you don't have like...
Yeah, you have the faith that you have the money in
Yes, I mean,
future.
you want to. You're like, I'm going to get the money. I'm going to give it. I mean, it's a pledge. That money didn't come.
Be embarrassed.
And the only money that I got was the transport to the wedding.
Oh my God.
And it took grace, ladies and gentlemen, it took me grace to say, okay, what I'm going to contribute to this wedding is actually attending.
Attendance.
And genuinely being happy for this couple because they are friends. I did that and I thank God for the peace. People, peace. Yeah, so I was like, that is all I can do at
And
that
I think
time.
I'll say this before I forget. You can make up later.
Yeah, you can.
Personally, I've had some people close to me getting married, and I've maybe made a pledge and it reaches and I don't have any money, genuinely. And I just keep quiet or explain to them. And then later when I get something, I can send them a gift or I can visit them with something. And then I'm like, guys, I've come to make up for the fact that I never contributed. And trust me, for these young couples, they always have needs.
Yeah.
Even if you get the money 3 months after and you
comes in
send it
handy.
to them, they need it. Can so do something for
Yeah,
them.
but we need to try
Yes.
as much as possible to avoid that.
Yes.
Yeah, and
Rather than going into debt to...
Yeah, to please.
And even in
to-
that aspect of pledging, it is better for you to understand your financial capacity as
Yes.
a person. It is better for you to pledge the 10K because you know it is
You
what
can
you can
get.
afford.
Yes.
And maybe later give even
Give them
more than
50.
10K
Yes.
Oh.
than you pledging 100K
And you don't
and
give
embarrass
them-
yourself and give
Exactly.
10,000.
I think that sends a better message.
That is really better because that, like, you know your financial stand, and it also speaks volumes on how you spend
Yeah.
as a person. Like, you do not just spend out of impulse
Or
because
excitement. and stuff.
because money does not even want you to like impress others because you know yourself. Yeah.
You know yourself.
That's the self-awareness I was
Yes.
talking about.
Our government has a ministry called Ministry for Disaster Preparedness.
Okay.
Do you know who the minister is?
I really.
That's going to be homework.
Wow.
That is a take
Homework.
The
home
Minister for
indeed.
Disaster Preparedness. In Uganda, it's
Disaster
called the
preparedness.
Vigwabitalaze.
Vigwabitalaze.
Okay.
Now, we have things like that in our lives. The things you never planned for, and they come.
Like that.
Recently, I had a health issue, and it took more than my maths earning to fix. I think the biggest I ever spent on my health was in COVID. I fell sick and I was admitted, and I spent 350,000. And I was on insurance then. I was a student on scholarship. I was on medical insurance, so I never felt it. So I've not been used to spending on my health. All through my student life, I was on health insurance, and then I was cut off because the scholarship ended. So recently, I get this health issue. It was an emergency, and I have to undergo an operation, and I was put on some heavy medicine, and I spent more than my math salary.
Wow.
And it came somewhere at the beginning of the month when the salary is done. Now you're waiting. Now you have to borrow and things like that.
Yeah.
I want you to talk about such disasters.
Gwabitalaze.
Now.
What are some of those things we can have?
Those
Now,
really hit
there are
hard.
some things that are emergencies enough because when you say it is a health complication, I can understand why you can even spend
Yes,
all your
yes.
salary. But then I cannot start explaining spending my salary on a certain dress that I'm going to put on for one day. That this was, but I needed to attend the party and what. There's some things that we can't explain. Let me first hint on something that Sister Annabelle talked about. You know, when she was explaining in line of being a lady, she just stopped on a lotion. But at some point, some of us can make our financial demands overwhelming ourselves. Because if I'm only, because that is an essential because I have to put it on my skin. But then sometimes I can add on things that are going to overwhelm me in the first place. Like
Yeah.
you want to, maybe you can survive. Let me tell you, you can survive without doing nails
Yeah.
and be alive. But
Very well.
if you think that that is an essential, of course it will be on your budget and it will overwhelm you. Maybe you want to change the shoe every Sabbath.
Every
We have
Sabbath.
52 Sabbaths in a year. You will not manage. You will overwhelm yourself. So in that line, we should not be so extravagant to the point that this is overwhelming you. But now this is a health issue, and it has come. Techidaze. That's why we have things like saving. Now we are always advised to save for investments. That
Save,
do not
save.
save to spend. Like, I'm saving this money the whole year, then I'm going to spend it in December. That is not good. We are always advised to save for investment. But now, what about the emergencies? I believe when such an emergency comes, especially to do with our health, health is a very big priority. You can touch your savings. You can touch your savings and pull a fund from it, because you need to save yourself. You need to save your health. But
Your
now
savings save you.
your savings can save
Yeah,
you.
the savings
But
save.
now, what if your savings cannot save you, or they may not even exist?
Yeah.
What are you going to do in that sense? That's why we have friends. I believe you can be helped by a friend. Yeah, because a friend can understand that this money can be paid later.
And
Maybe
at
someone,
convenience.
yes, maybe someone can have another source of money, but that's what I would say, because health is an emergency.
There are emergencies. When I was a student, sometimes I miss being a student. I got away with so much. Stuff would happen and I'm like, no, I am in school. People would put me in wedding groups and I don't contribute here. After all, I'm a student. Some things at church I would not contribute to. After all, I'm a
Oh,
student.
after all.
We would lose people at home. And I tell my parents, but I'm in school.
I'm in school.
And these days, how are you working? And I've later been like losing
We
relatives.
have grown.
And now me, I've not grown up from home, and I don't know so many people. So my mom will call, and maybe we've lost a relative X, and because me, I do not know them, so I assume the person is far. Now recently, someone died. I think a grandma who was like something like that, but of course not directly. Someone I don't know. So my mom called me in the morning. We've lost someone, and we're going to bury. And I said, okay, Nachitalo, and I ended it there. Business. I don't know the person. So I think the next day in the evening she calls, but didn't I tell you we lost someone? I was like, you've not done anything. Of course, now they're expecting condolence and that.
Yeah.
How about such things?
Yeah, okay.
How should we treat them?
Yeah, like you said, such things are, as a person who understands life, you should understand that such things are prone to happen. That's why for you to be able to meet such things, more so understanding that you're not earning a lot of money. For example, you're just from school, and your sources of income are limited. It still comes back to the point that she said, saving. But most importantly, the money that you get, the little money that you get, how are you budgeting for it? So budgeting here is like the major thing here, budgeting. How are you budgeting for the small money that you get?
That you have.
Like, say that you're able to account for every expenditure that you're going to make, for example, in a month, and say, okay, maybe I'm earning 800,000. I'm just from school. I'm doing some gig here. I'm doing some part-time job, and I'm earning 800,000. It takes on your part to realize that I shouldn't rent a house that is taking, for example, 30% of what I'm earning, because that will enable you to have financial flexibility and be able to budget better. To say, okay, I'm going to maybe to plan for 200,000 to spend as my feeding.
Yeah.
Then I can set aside money for things that can come up anytime, like you said, sickness. Of course, when God sees that you have that mind, a mind that budgets for small, whenever God gives us opportunity to be, maybe He gives us opportunities to have money, whichever money that we have, He's testing us. That's why in the Bible there is something that says, there is a scripture that says, if you're faithful in the little things, God can also make you faithful in the bigger things.
Yes.
Those small things that God has put that has made you charge of, you should be able to budget and account for them.
Yeah.
That is when you are able to meet. You may not be able to meet all of them, but you can be able to meet some of those
Yeah.
uncertainties that happen in life because you're able to budget for your life. You do not spend anyhow. You do not buy a shirt that you didn't budget for that month. Now that discipline is also difficult. So, as she said, the saving aspect, but in this generation also, you mentioned insurance. There's a lot of knowledge regarding different schemes that you can use as a person to thrive and also to prepare yourself for the future and also for the uncertainties. For example, those are the things that you should. For example, insurance is something that is really good that you should be looking at. Saving with having different insurance schemes, putting your money there. There are many policies that allow to save even as less as 5K. It can be weekly, it can be monthly, it can be per day.
NSSF has gotten that policy recently.
Yes,
NSSF, what is it called?
it is Smart Life.
Smart Life, yes,
Life.
where you can save as low as 5K.
You can save as low as 5K.
There's MTN investor on Momo, where you can
Yes.
save as low as 1K. And those are legit, where you can put your money there and it's kept.
Yes, so those schemes are there and they can bail you out in at some point, certain point T. But also as an individual, positioning yourself. Positioning yourself, I mean, for example, having the necessary skills in life
Oh, yes.
to be able to jump out
Skills.
life.
Yes.
These skills enable you to earn on a daily,
Oh, yes.
on top of what you may be doing, what you
From your
may be.
mainstream job.
Yes, your job or what. And this can help you on the daily expenses. So that when sometimes emergencies come, at least you have hope somewhere
Oh, yes.
and you're not left.
I can do this gig and I get something
Yes,
off
that
it.
cultivates a sense of responsibility on your part. And trust me, even God blesses you. God sees that sense of responsibility and can bless you with bigger opportunities, bigger monies to handle. And also, the people that are around you see that sense of responsibility, and those are more blessings, I can say.
And that's powerful. And that's a very powerful lesson I've learned this
It
year.
is.
The sickness I was talking about taught me to develop multiple streams of income. I've mainly been depending on my
Salary.
mainstream salary, and maybe a few gigs which come here and there. But the gigs, I have no control over them because now they call you, they invite you. But there have not been as much practical things I've been in which can bring in something. And I was shaking and I was like, okay, so this is how it can actually be.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good thing that we open up.
Your
different
salary
channels.
can get wings
You know,
at
here
one
and there,
point.
I am spending this, but maybe in a week I am going to have it back, maybe after making a sale,
Yeah.
after putting this product out there. I think it's a very good thing that we
Yeah.
get to go into that diversity if we are to be
Yeah.
able to manage
The overwhelming
overwhelming
financial demands.
So don't you
yes.
don't totally stack
Yes.
that you don't have money.
And what if maybe the salary is withheld a bit?
Oh,
Yeah, and the jobs are also not
they are-
assured.
Yeah, indeed.
Anytime, anything can happen.
Yeah.
So for you to have even that final, like that confidence at your place of work, by the way, is when you have something else.
Else that you can do.
Yes, you work with a lot of energy because you know, yes, this one is going to push my other thing that I'm doing. This
I know someone, and I was speaking to someone who manages them, and the person who manages them was telling me they were planning to fire that person. And the person, as far as I know, that person is not minding because they don't know what's going on. The person is not as effective. And the boss was telling me, we are trying to find one reason to have this person stay on the job, but we don't see.
Oh, no.
The bare minimum they are supposed to do, they are not delivering. And so we have no option but to let go of them. I know at the back of their mind, the other person is there, very comfortable knowing I have a job.
I have a job.
But very soon, things are about to go
Yeah.
south.
I think it's about to fall apart.
So we need to take a
Yeah.
quick break, and
Yeah.
when we come back, we're going to expound more on these overwhelming financial demands and how we can be able to find a balance and remain afloat when we should be sinking financially. This is a Youth Voice show here on Hope Channel Uganda. We take a quick break and return shortly. from that very short break. This is a Youth Voice Show here on Hope Channel Uganda, and hosting this conversation, I am Edison Masereka. And we are looking at overwhelming financial demands, like that situation where you're being pulled left, right, and center, and everything wants your financial contribution. That wedding, that Mabugo contribution you have to give, that church activity, your friend is doing something, someone is calling you for a quick 20K, but you have to meet all those things. And then, you know that, especially when people know you're working, you guys are coming there. When people know you're working, people assume you always have money.
Yeah, true.
A few days ago, a friend of mine, this is my friend, I think we last met on graduation. We last talked on graduation. And she called me and she wanted a quick 20K. And I'm like, why is she even getting the audacity? We have not been talking. And I'll be honest with you, because she wanted it urgently and I was not home and I didn't have mobile money, perhaps I would have helped. And I felt so guilty because I didn't give. I didn't give. But the point I am making is, by the time she called me, after about a year and a half of not talking, she knew this guy must be having money. He's working. He must be having the money. There is that also where people, think, this person has.
Me.
But there's something we had hinted on earlier, living to impress. I am working on this job. I am a pharmacist. A pharmacist. I have to get a place in Nigeria. I have to get an apartment in.
I cannot put on these shirts.
How do I be seen putting on these shirts?
Pharmacy.
How do I be seen putting on a shoe of 70K and one pair? You want to. How do we overcome that? Living because we want to impress others. Annabelle.
Impressing. That's a disease. Trying to impress is a disease. It's like and with impressing, you find yourself being someone you're not really, you don't really are, because you want to look a certain way. Now, for example, our professions, I will look at me. Okay, now I'm a broadcast journalist. You can look at others and you're like, I have to dress a certain way. I have to be this. I have to do my nails. I have to wear makeup every time and stuff. And some people do not really understand that you really don't have to be like the other person. I mean, just have to be you. Yes. Like acquiring a home in Nigeria just because, you're a pharmacist. You rub shoulders with fellow pharmacists and staff, engineers and everything. At times, we just force things.
I want to get a car immediately.
And we weigh our
by virtue of my
heavy.
job, I have to get a car immediately.
Indeed.
Can I interest you with a little secret of mine?
Sure.
The audience is not going to hear. You're not listening to this. I'm just telling you, three of you guys.
Oh, yes.
There is a date I've been wanting to go for. But I imagine this grand... And I've been procrastinating to go out with her because in my mind I want the first one to be grand. There'll never be a second chance to put up a good first impression, right? So I've been procrastinating because I want it to be grand. I want it to leave a lasting memory. And I think somehow it's a bad thing.
Yeah, it is.
What would you say
You'll
to me?
use your salary for 2 months now.
What would you say to me?
For starters, you're procrastinating because of that grand.
Yes.
Now you can, the time you'll be ready, someone might take her. You're procrastinating for something grand, and someone can come and just,
something
simple and stuff, and she's smitten and she's taken. And then you're like, when I get government in BH, and everything, blaming everyone but yourself.
Yes.
So that pushes you to the procrastination and I'm not ready. And then some people just develop bad habits of like maybe stealing or falling in debt. Falling in debt and maybe using all the savings without, it's not insured and everything. And you're left with absolutely nothing because of the grand, the grand gestures. Which
but
is
does
not
she
bad.
want the grand? Because you might be working towards the
I
grand
feel
yet.
like I need to put up a good first
That's
impression.
why I mentioned you might be wanting
the
the
subsequent
grand.
ones can be simple, but the first one has to create an impact.
If you say
May
so.
never
Why?
happen.
So what do you think, my brother?
Let it not
Now, me,
overwhelm you.
About that, this is what I think. You see, for example, when you're going to a car bond to buy a car, and you go to a bond where there are cars of 300 million,
You go
yet
to
you
Spear
have
Motors,
50 million in your
Mark
pocket.
East Africa.
You get it? You've gone to the wrong place, first of all. But that does not mean that you do not have the money. So what am I trying to say here? If you want to have a date with that girl, you want to spend maybe, I don't know, maybe 500K on her, and you do not have it. But even the 100K you have is money. And if she's sensible, a girl enough, okay, she will appreciate the money you've spent on her, but she's supposed to appreciate the person in you. First of all, the time that you've put in, and also the thought of you taking her out.
That counts, yeah.
Because what counts here is you, maybe to yourself you may feel low, but it's not that you're low. You as a person, you should understand that me, yes, right now I have 100K, but I have the capability, maybe in 2 years, to take her to a date of 500K. But however, I have to meet this need right now that is worth 100,000, because yes, I have to fulfill the responsibility. It is a need at this time.
Yeah.
So sometimes we do not have to wait to accumulate that amount of money, because trust me, someone else may come and take her out on a date.
A cheaper one even.
A cheaper one.
Of 1 million, and by the time you get 500 million, you may think it is the highest you've taken her on a date, yet she has already been taken on to a date of 100 million.
Yeah.
So always, what we have is enough for us to start, as long as we have built ourselves to that point of realizing, yes, this is what I am, and I'm capable of reaching that level.
At some point.
Yes,
Using what I have.
Yes. But it is by process. As long as you have that plan.
I think that's very helpful.
Yes.
And I want to bring in Debbie. And Debbie, I want to bring you on this note. One thing I have learned recently, especially in gifting, I have realized that it's not about how much you have spent, but it's about the intentionality
Yeah,
and the thought behind it,
Thought.
and the amount of work you put in.
Yeah.
the effort.
If I always, you go to the village. I've ever gone to the village to Bundiwujo, and my grandmother has this very nice avocado tree. It has very sweet fruits. I've not met any other fruits like that. And one time I carried an avocado fruit all the way from Bundiwujo and brought for it for a colleague at work, and the colleague was very happy. Number one, I had to carry it all the way the other side and bring it here. So the intentionality and the time you put behind it, it's something I've learned recently. And perhaps what I would say to young people out there is to be creative, especially when you're dealing with Debbie's gender. Be as creative as possible. What they want to look at is how much effort you put in
Creativity is
to actually deliver.
Yeah.
You can deliver something of 1 million shillings, but you didn't put in much.
You didn't put in much. You didn't think about it.
But you go and buy a notebook of 20K, and then you put some work behind it to make it suit her, that person, and perhaps that's going to create a bigger impression.
And it's custom
Debbie,
made.
please share.
Yeah. So, like in the first time you were speaking, the things that demand our finances, they can be a gift sabbath. Yeah. So the value someone attaches on something you give them, so it might be small because you might. And some people may be gifting and say, we are gifting each other, we are not going below 100K. Now someone says, how can I give without going below 100K?
But churches like doing that.
Yeah, because in these things, people have gotten disappointed because some people put in so much, then they get so little out of the gifting. But the heart must be in whatever you are doing. And even that first impression that you want to do, if the heart is in it, because someone will look at the heart. If someone is not so materialistic, they want to just see things around them, but the heart, because someone might do very many big things, but behind them there is no love.
So do we actually say that sometimes putting those big things out there first may even attract the wrong people to us?
Yeah,
Exactly.
We want to see them for who they
Without a
truly
doubt.
are.
Yes. Yeah, and it will only impress someone who is so materialistic and they're saying, you cannot take me to a cheap place. No, someone is not looking at the heart.
Yes.
Yet we need to consider the heart.
And to add on what she has said, for a girl that is really understanding, if he knows your financial status,
Yes.
he knows you're not earning $1 million a month, but you've spent 800K on her for a date, she will question somehow
This guy does not.
your financial skills and your financial knowledge.
This guy is
You're
not
going to
listening.
be
And she'll be like,
father.
he's supposed to be saving more, maybe saving for other things,
Yes.
to invest somewhere.
Yeah, for
But
future.
all this money, and she may even tell you, you know what, but we shouldn't have all this. You get? So sometimes it also points, like she said, to the person that you're taking
Yeah,
out,
the person.
the way she
the
receives
person.
you, the thought of you taking her out. Yes, because she can perceive you even in the wrong way. Yet sometimes the right intentions are not, don't turn out to be good.
So Annabelle,
Yes,
do you think when I take someone out with 500, yet I earn 800, another would say, oh, he's so loving, he spent nearly all his salary on me?
Well, that depends on the personality of a person.
Yeah, the
I
personality.
mean, you can find a lady who can be like, yes, he's supposed to. He's,
Yes, he's
I mean,
supposed
you're
to.
supposed to. You're taking care of us and everything. Yes, but
entitled.
please, a woman, really, you're telling me you earn 800 and then you spend 500.
500.
What are you saving? I mean, don't you have?
You will die of
Obligations.
hunger.
Obligations.
But if I love you,
Because
I
I
don't
want
want
to
you
tell
to
you,
die
if
of
I love you, I
hunger.
want to tell you.
Yes.
You're like, you really 500 could, because I mean, the personality of the person. Now, because now we are people, and I mean, girls who have different things we spend our money on, and even guys, and then as human beings, we have things that we spend money on as So you have to have some discipline, honestly. Like, what do you mean you're spending 500? You earn 800. Like, that's when you're like, hey, these leaders are not good. The economy. Yet God has given you the money, you have the source of income, but you're not managing your money well. And that woman is not going to respect you.
Yeah.
How you
Respect.
he's not, yeah.
And remember, like, we need to talk about, because we're talking about the overwhelming financial needs, but then we need to solve these problems. We are not going to be overwhelmed every time.
Now you're
And
overwhelming
when we
yourself.
think about having the sources of income that we talked about, like, you start up many businesses in order to earn so much, but I attended some business program by URSP, and they were talking about why most businesses in Uganda do not even get to their first birthday.
Yes.
Yes, they do not. And that is because people do not know how to manage their finances personally. If I cannot manage my
Personal finance. You
personal
can't manage
finance, like,
business finance.
I'll be overwhelmed
Yeah.
now. In a business, it means I'll just squander my business. That's why the
Expenses
business
will
is.
be
So
expensive.
first of all, we need to have that discipline, financial discipline. Yes.
Financial discipline, and then financial knowledge.
Knowledge.
Is important.
Yeah.
You talked about having attended that URSB.
That
training.
was helpful.
A book I'm going to recommend, a book I read recently, is a book by Moses Mukisa. It's called Straightforward Financial Growth. It's a very good book, very practical. I've been reading very many financial books, and most of them are from the West. And the problem with Western books is that they don't relate to our situation
Oh,
as
yeah.
Africans. They don't speak. For them, they will talk about startup, and they're talking in thousands of dollars, and you can't
America,
relate. For you, dealing with thousands of euros.
Mortgage, credit cards,
So-
we are not understanding
We don't
those
understand those
things.
things. So straightforward financial growth is practical because it speaks to the local Ugandan situation. If anyone walk into any bookshop, you're going to find it. It's a good one.
Yeah.
I want us to speak about our everyday lives and how we manage them in terms of expenses. And from the background of knowing where to purchase from. You know that you can buy this shirt at some boutique at 50K, but at some other place it's half the price. As a guy, what I've learned is that, especially in this Kampala, I've learned you have to know where things are.
Yes.
You have to know
That
where
is
things
key.
are. You find, I've gone to, for example, some of these reputable bookstores to buy books, and you find a book at this place is 70K, and you go to some other shop or some other store, and you get the same book, same quality at maybe 50K.
With all the pages.
With everything, nothing. It's
Nothing missing.
everything.
Look at some of these supermarkets where we do shopping.
You know?
You maybe go to Chinatown and the prices are a little bit, but you go to maybe Carrefour Market and the prices are way higher.
Yeah,
Spiked.
Same product, same quality, and that. What I want us to use that background to speak about how we can manage our daily expenses.
Friends, before buying something, ask someone who has ever bought it.
Yes.
Do not just look at that shoe and it's like, God, I need to have this shoe. But then you don't even want to ask her. She might know the very person where you can go, and then the standard price of that thing. So we need to have the knowledge about the things we are buying. At least there is someone who has ever been in town.
Yes.
As if there's someone who has ever done that. Don't just wake up walk to town to get what you want. Ask a friend. We have friends all around us. We have people who work there. So it's better to ask someone who is there.
You can even go on
because you'll
TikTok
be
and check out
exploited.
prices.
Yeah, and compare.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Comparison is
Yeah, you'll be exploited and you'll regret.
So that's you go when you have like, it's averagely in this price range.
Even if you go there, you will not overexceed, but people are overwhelmed. Like, by the moment you find that you have been cheated by 20K, it is so painful.
Me,
So
even 1,000.
before buy-
I've been cheated. Even 1,000.
Yeah.
Wisdom is knowing that some border apps are more expensive than others, and so you have to choose
Yeah.
appropriately.
They're all good apps, but one is, yeah.
Add on what she has said.
Border apps.
You see,
I didn't know.
here in Uganda
Yes, there's a difference.
and in most
Yes, right.
countries in Africa, like the economy is open. It is kind of an open market where the prices are not determined by government. Also, in most of the things, even the crucial things like medication.
Yeah.
You go to a pharmacy that sells Panadol at 500, another pharmacy freely sells it at 2,000.
Yes.
Yeah.
The same product.
The same product.
So that's why you see investors come here and they really benefit from such an economy because they can really sell anything at any cost.
Yeah.
That's why it is really important for you to really understand.
There's something, just to interrupt you a
Yes.
little. You will go and, you ladies, I've heard of people who say, that hospital you're going to give birth, normal delivery, you pay 500. But there's another hospital, normal delivery, you pay 2.5 plus.
Hey.
Like,
Yes, the same
the same
services.
service.
Yeah, same service.
Somehow the government is supposed to regulate this
Yes,
because somehow this is exploitation
Yes.
and extortion.
Indeed, yeah.
Because, like she said, in such an economy, you need to understand
Yeah.
the current seasons. You need to understand how the country is running, what is going on. In Ichikuvo, how much is this, how much is that? Otherwise, you will be exploited.
You'll be exploited
You will be-
and it will be a
Bajakukuba
pinch.
kumutwe.
And you
Yes.
hate your country and every trade and everyone.
So, me, one thing that I think I've read from some book, it is called it is called the Blue Ocean Strategy, but there's also another book called it has the 5 principles of stratospheric success. This book talks about being hard on your money. Like money is not easy to get. You should be hard on it, not really
Like
give
my
it out.
money.
Like whenever somebody tells you this costs this, you really shouldn't just really give it out like at that cost. More so in an economy like Uganda. That's why it also comes back to you to really have the knowledge. As a person, have the knowledge about the different aspects in life. Even when you're a doctor, you have to read about what engineers do, what happens the other side of, what happens the other side of clothes, what happens the other side, so that you have that overall knowledge. Otherwise, you will go and they will deceive you because you do not have the knowledge.
Totally green.
Yes, you're
Yes.
totally agreeing about something.
You've mentioned that, and I want to bring in Annabelle. But there's another book I've been reading. I'll talk about. It's called The Jewish Phenomenon. It explains why the Jews, number one, they're a minority race, but they dominate whatever they do. They are very few, but their influence across the world can't be underestimated, and they are so rich. And one of the things the book was talking about, it's by a man called Steven Spielberg or something like that. He was mentioning the fact that before they do any expenditure, they will consult people who have relatives that, and sometimes they want knowledge on what they're going to buy. If it's a
Don't
car,
just
they want to buy a
buy.
car. They will consult about people with the different car brands.
Yes,
car
yes,
brands. And
yes.
by the end of the day, they're going to buy the one which is durable, and they won't have to spend so much in servicing it and that. To them, they rather have this one car that they know they're going to have for some time, and it's fuel efficient or something like that, than, drive the latest brand that everyone else is having, but at the end of the day, you're spending so much.
Yeah, you're going to
Spending,
spend so much on it.
Oh, wow. Now, because it involves money, this is crucial. This is crucial. We have to go back to the basics. I mean, what she mentioned is really making some research. Ask, if this supermarket sells it at this, please go to another supermarket, find out how much. For example, you can go to a supermarket and buy things and you get out very depressed. I mean, you spent a lot of money, and then someone from Chinatown tells you they got this car basket at this, they got this one, that in the money, that range that you actually spent for, things that make you feel like you've overspent and they've robbed you of your money and everything. I know a lady who would, that woman, she would contact suppliers. She would go in a supermarket and like, okay, who supplies this? Who supplies this? And they give you the contacts and everything. They don't refuse. So she would contact those and
Find
go.
out the prices from the suppliers.
Yes, and she gets the products that she uses in her home, for example, detergents, and everything. So she would do she would do a monthly haul.
And the suppliers supply like they're supplying to a
Yes,
shop.
her family very well. Even if it's milk, she would talk to the dresser, and they would give. So she would stock, and then she would tell us that it's helping us. So we're like, So we understood that it works for us. So we also tapped in that knowledge, and we're like, that actually helps. I mean, if you have points that this is a plug, I get this at a cheaper price. If it's braids, I get this at a cheaper price. If it's shoes, I can.
So you're stocking, you're spending quite a lot because you're stocking, but in the long run, it's
it helps you that you don't buy this one. Now, for example, kids. There's some kids that use Vaseline in a really extravagant way. They just paint themselves. So you're like that, and with them. There's the salt is done and everything. So she would batch.
By the way, generally,
salt,
stocking things is cheaper in the long run.
From suppliers.
You buying a kilo of sugar every week, and then someone actually buying 25 kg bag and they keep it there. It's actually cheaper in the long run. It will seem like you're spending a lot of money now, but it's cheaper in the long run.
The
other thing I discovered just a few days ago, I was going to buy these, are they napkins? These serviettes.
Serviette.
Yes.
And I saw another brand at 2.5, another brand was at 4.5.
And 5.
I'm like, what's this big difference in the price? This is going to do like the same job.
Maybe the quality.
By the
quality
way,
will
things like,
But
is it the same job like for some of those things, really?
Well, it is, but I agree on the quality. Some are really dusty. So if you use them on food, some.
Maybe dusty.
Okay.
So there are some
Maybe
brands that I trust that. But then some prices are really spiked because you can find. I've ever used those serviettes 2.5 and they are better than the one that is 5 or even 4.5 or even 3.5. So I stick on the 2.5.
The same way Renzori water is 1K and other brands at 500 and it's
good
the same.
Lord.
Same water.
I see. Wow, guys, this has been a very interesting conversation and we might get carried away. I need to have to end it. Let's have our parting shots. I'm starting with you, Debbie.
Yeah, to overcome these overwhelming financial demands, and they will still be overwhelming as you grow, as we grow, as we mature. Now, when you get a family, now they're overwhelming before you get a family. Now, what if you get a family? So it's too much. But I would advise us to skill up. Let us have these skills, and let us give ourselves to working hard, because I cannot be lazy and expect things to come to my table. So skill up and work hard.
You can't be lazy and extravagant at the same time.
Yeah, those things don't work together. It's not a good thing.
Yeah, thank you so much. One thing I can say as we conclude is that in such a situation where we are in such a contracted economy, it requires individuals that are disciplined. It requires a lot on our part. Most of for us as Christians, we already have privileges, that we have principles that come from above. Principles that govern our life.
Sure.
You do not spend anyhow on anything. You do not even eat anything. You do not go out anywhere. So these are principles that are lacking. This discipline that is lacking nowadays, that doesn't compel you to do anything anyhow as others are doing in such an economy. That prevents you from spending anyhow. But also on top of the skills she has said, there are many skills right now, and many people can do the same skills. But now, how are you doing them? For example, she can make liquid soap. Maybe she can make clothes. I understand she makes these
the scrunchies.
The scrunchies. Yes, but how uniquely are you doing it? Now, how are you adding more value to that you're standing out uniquely compared to the other person?
When someone takes your product, they will recommend it.
Yeah, they'll recommend.
When I give you business as a graphic designer, I'll recommend you to a friend.
Yes. So that also is very important, also in such a world that has competition.
Yeah.
Because I was reading somewhere and they were telling us that the law of value is that like how you present your product to others is going to determine the customers that you have, is going to determine their stay, and it's going to determine their coming back, because they tested something special with you that they have not tested anywhere else. So as we do our skills, we should also put that in mind to inculcate those other attributes that add unique value to our
Yes,
product.
yes, thank you. Annabelle.
Yes.
Patricia.
Wow, thank you. So I read somewhere, and a wise man was saying that if the lifestyle you're living you can't sustain that for the next 3 months, it's not your lifestyle.
You're living above your means.
She mentioned the nails, the what. There are certain things we hold as baggage, and they weigh us down. And you're clinging, this works for me, this works. Yet when you shed off some, you can easily move. So there are certain things we can do away from, like certain things. Some luxury. Okay, luxury is good. I mean, if you can afford it, but not just going in debt, are they doing this? Okay, if you want that lifestyle, please work hard. The skilling, work on this. If you know how to make it, please do this. Help yourself so that you don't become a burden to other people, and as well to yourself. I mean, really, it's not.
I was that book I was talking about, Straightforward Financial Growth, was saying you might think that 2K that you use for juice at work every day is small money, but at the end of 5 days, that's 10K. At the end of a month, that's 40K.
Whoa.
What if you began by saving that little money? Sometimes you go and eat. You've always had lunch of 15K. Then what if on some days you have lunch of 10, 7K and like that, and you save that other extra money? By the end of the year, it could compound into something bigger. Saving is not from the big things.
It's not.
Saving is one thing I've learned from those books. The Jewish phenomenon and straightforward financial growth. Is that saving is not from the big things.
It's not.
It's from these seemingly small habits every day.
Yeah,
I
take care of
realized-
the
I realized
pennies.
At my workplace, I buy water. I don't. There's water like in the staff room, a water dispenser. But I go to the canteen and buy water.
And you
Why?
buy water?
I can drink like 4 small bottles of Nirvana.
It's
Why?
That's 2K. And it has dawned on me, I have a percolator at home. I can actually boil water at home.
Buy a bottle.
And I'm like, I am actually spending a lot of money on water, and I'm hoping to cut down that, and I don't spend any money on buying water. I drink staff room water, or I boil, and then I carry a bottle to work.
The good part is that you notice that.
Yes, I noticed it.
Even the transport, for example, these border guys. I have a habit. I know some border guys that know me, or I don't know, but I do something to them.
Yes.
Like I tell you, I'm from here to. Then you're like maybe 3,000, 4,000. I'm like. That's several. I walk. Like, I'm really not interested. You know, they're used to, but I've been to Allah. No. I'm like, no. So I walk like I'm ignoring you.
Yes.
Then they follow. And I show you that the other border guys around there.
And that 1K you're saving
And he
from the
comes.
border every day can compound. How many days do you have in a year? 365.
365.
That's 365,000, right? If it's 1K a
Yes,
day that
it's
you're
1K.
saving, that can actually do something.
Even if it's 500.
Why? So that money, if you save
works.
it for a year, you can.
That
Those
is-
are 2 good dates or something.
It's only even if it's for 500, it works for me.
It's
I'm
been
like,
an
see.
interesting
Yeah.
conversation. Thank you very much, guys. And this has been very insightful. I am going to watch this show over and over and again. I'm going to share it as much as I can.
Yeah.
It's been a very good one, very insightful. Thank you so much. And I believe that our beloved viewer out there has learned something for themselves on
Indeed.
how they can manage their finances vis-a-vis these overwhelming financial demands. It's been a pleasure having you on the conversation, and it's always good having you with us here on the Youth Voice Show, here on Hope Channel Uganda. From myself and the rest of the team here at Hope Channel Uganda, see you next time. Keep it Hope Channel Uganda.